the search. What up, guys?
We had our first ever YouTube fan come up to us and say, "Hey, can I be in your vlog?"
No way. What?
He's like, "My friend's a big fan of yours."
Oh, that's crazy.
Yo, yo, yo. So I was thinking about calling today's video loaner car versus FRS, but we're gonna call it Chrysler 300 versus Corolla. If you had to take one for a couple days, what would you take? Chrysler 300 or the Corolla? Obviously take the Chrysler. I hate Corollas. Maybe that new hatchback will be better. Meanwhile at Country Hills Toyota, waiting for my rental car, getting my hood fixed. Check this out. A million kilometers. Original FRS, still new. If I was making a Chrysler commercial, that would be the music. That would be the soundtrack for sure. This car so takes me back. Welcome to the Chrysler 300. This is so funny. So I just dropped my car off to get my new hood on the FRS, and the guy at the car rental was swamped. He's so busy. So thanks to Discount Rental, I think this car is super dirty. I listened to a conversation where the guys were just talking about how they had no time to clean any cars after the long weekend, and their code wasn't working or something funny. So anyhow, I've got the Chrysler for a couple of days. It's big, it's got power. Feel that. I don't know, I'm gonna have to look under the hood later and see what's under this. Luxury sedan cruising for a couple of days, and looking forward to getting my new Seibon hood. So it's the same hood, they're just replacing it. I tried to see if I could get the old one. I might still try again, but so far they're saying no. Insurance, of course, wants that destroyed or wants it taken back or something. So new hood's coming, and I'm in a Chrysler 300. Too funny. One funny thing, I'll turn the video around after I'm not driving. The info entertainment system, whatever you want to call it, is so confusing. I could not figure out how to get the heat on the floor, how to get the wipers to work. It's crazy. But I do have a paddle shift. Manual mode engaged. Hold paddle to shift. Oh, now it's working. We're in sport mode. Chrysler. Hilarious. So seriously. Well, I've got a couple of days with the Chrysler 300. I thought I'd just make a video because seriously, I've driven cars like this when I was a kid. Anyone who grew up in Saskatchewan, the Chrysler New Yorker was like the car. You know, either you had a big pickup or you were driving in the New Yorker with your grandparents. So this model in particular is the 300C. It's got standard a 3.6 liter V6. It's got a lot of pickup. You know, for a big car, it's surprising the acceleration that it has, especially at speed when you're rolling. Of course, big cars are always better to get on the power than from a start. If you want to go nuts, you can get the big V8 Hemi with this. Rear wheel drive only. This car is actually a rear wheel drive, and we found out the hard way that I don't have the greatest tires, definitely not winter tires. There's some kind of a Goodyear, I think that's a kind of a crossover tire. It's not, I wouldn't even call it an all season tire. But the weather's not bad, so we're managing. But as far as, you know, getting into a big car and feeling like you've got some push, yeah, this has some power. The one funny thing as far as driving, because of course, you know, I drive sports cars. When I get into a big car like this, I can't feel anything. I can't feel the road through the wheel. I can't feel any response through the pedals. This wheel is actually really big. It reminds me of the old one. And so, you know, it's really a cruiser. So I'm not sure where this fits in compared to anything else. I would never buy a car like this personally. But, you know, for the price, this is in that 35 to 45,000 range. You could spend a lot of money on this car. There's definitely some great cars out there you could buy for that kind of money, especially used. But for a loner to go cook around with the kids and have lunch and, you know, just have a relaxing day, not too bad. And I didn't mention, today's the last day of spring break, so we should probably get this thing out on the road and see what it feels like on the highway. Oh, I need my sunglasses. Hi, we'd like 2 small fries, 1 regular fry, and 3 small chocolate shakes. Drive-through test in the Chrysler 300.
3 small chocolate shakes?
Yes, please. Oh, actually, do you still have shamrock shakes?
I'm not sure, just want to make a note check. Yeah, we do.
Oh, great. Make one of those. Do you want a
All of
shamrock?
them. Make all of them.
Oh, they all say shamrock, so 3 shamrock.
So 3 shamrock?
Yeah.
Stick with the chocolate.
Okay.
That's all.
All right, 1521 at the first window, please.
Thank you. It is quite hard to turn around the corner in this giant car.
Yeah.
But that is a successful drive-through. It's nice actually going through a drive-through in a big car like this, because we're actually at the same height of the window. In my car, I have to like lean up like this and try to reach.
Hello.
Hi.
There you are.
Great, thank you. Oh,
Over in the back.
oh, thank you. Excellent. Here. I'll give you that back.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. See how back there?
I have no idea what's going on.
Flip it down, it's like an entertainment center. Is there an Xbox in there?
I wish.
This car is so big, it's like driving a bus.
Bus is still bigger.
All right, here's some Chrysler trivia for you guys. Before I actually owned my first car, listen, I'm talking to you guys. Before I owned my first car, I used to drive my grandma's car.
Wait, the straws.
And
So
do-
it was
do
a
you know what?
Chrysler.
It was a Chrysler New Yorker,
Dad, give me the straw.
and it was as big as this,
There you go.
only it only had 2 doors. And it had, at the time, it actually had the biggest production motor, the 440 V8.
Ooh.
But it didn't have an info center and a GPS and everything. It had one speaker in the middle of the dash, and a button you push, it said power booster. But it was the power booster for the speaker, not for the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chrysler. Shamrock shakes. So what do you do if you can't decide between Subway and McDonald's?
You got both.
We're having Subway, McDonald's fries, and Shamrock shakes. Make sure all your windows are up. How fun is this? We're getting washed in the fishbowl. Rum, rum.
Can we go, Dad?
It's a long way to the top if you wanna rock and roll. It's a long way to the
Jason, go first.
Holes on the ground.
Where'd he go?
It was you want to
Here.
go down.
Or, well, not this one, but over there.
Oh, there he is. Hey, Mr. Gover. Hello. Who's that? Is that your friend?
You suck us out again.
Road trip in the 300, chasing gophers. The one thing I'll say about the highway, it's actually very responsive on the highway. So I was saying how big and loose it feels in town. On the highway, it's actually not bad. It's like it tightens up, the steering tightens up. Controls are solid. I don't know. Not bad. So this is pretty epic. It is a pretty well set up saloon car. The digital controls and the all the little functional pieces definitely take some time to get used to after being a Toyota guy for so long. But everything seems pretty simple. I would say this would be a great long tour car, with the exception of the seat. The seat has tons of electric adjustments, up and down, back and forth, all kinds of stuff. But there's no real lumbar support. It's really high up when you fill it up. And the bolsters don't go anywhere if you're used to driving in a sports seat. These flat seats, from the 60s, don't do much for comfort and driving. But yeah, for a cruiser and just sitting back and, we were laughing, you saw it hanging out with the kids, eating lunch, going through the car wash. It's a lot of fun. And if I can, one comment to my friends at Discount. I picked this up while my car is getting fixed, obviously. This car was filthy. It was such a mess. I know it's Monday after a long weekend. They're super busy. So I've cleaned this out. I can't stand, you guys know me, I can't stand to be in a car that's not clean. So cleaned it in, cleaned it out. Even though we're having lunch in here, it's way better than when I picked it up. So you owe me today. Hopefully my car's done tomorrow, if not the next day. And we'll be checking out a new Seibon hood. I know it's going to look the same because it's the same hood. But pretty excited to have the car back and have it looking good. And then a couple more spring projects coming, if spring will ever come, because it's the endless winter here. It's going to be in the minus temperatures for a couple of weeks still, they're saying. So welcome to Canada. Yikes. Calgary car season delayed. Unless you're like me and you drive your car all winter. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Stay tuned and happy Easter. Talk again soon.